Welcome back for another great video this week. Are you thinking about moving here to Kenosha with your family and you just can't decide which neighborhood to move to because there's so many fantastic neighborhoods here in Kenosha? Well, today we're going to break down three great neighborhoods: Whitecaps, Forest Park, and Strawberry Creek. Each with their own great positives and a couple drawbacks with each neighborhood. We're going to dive deep into each neighborhood, tell you the positives and the drawbacks of each one, so that you can decide for yourself which neighborhood you think is the best for you and your family. By the way, I'm Chad Scott with Epique Realty, your local Kenosha real estate expert. I have buyers and sellers just like you reaching out to me every single week, asking me questions about buying and selling houses here in the Kenosha Racing area. So if you have any questions at all about buying or selling in the Kenosha Racing area, make sure that you give me a call, shoot me a text, or send me an email. I'm happy to answer your questions and help out any way that I possibly can. Now let's dive into it. First, let's talk about Forest Park. Forest Park is the oldest neighborhood that we're going to talk about today. One of the best parts about Forest Park is that it has some of the greatest schools here in Kenosha. Most of the schools in Forest Park are within walking distance to all the homes in Forest Park and has very highly rated schools in KUSD. And it's definitely a favorite among all the families here in Kenosha. The biggest and most popular school is Forest Park Elementary, which is kind of located right in the middle of Forest Park. And a lot of the elementary kids either get dropped off there or just walk right down the street because it's literally right in the middle of the neighborhood. It's a very community-centric school. They do a lot of events in the community. The community is invited to the school all the time. And it's just a very highly rated school, and the community just loves the school. Reason number 2 to love Forest Park: there are tons of parks and green spaces. If you love being outside, if you have pets or dogs, you know to walk them, there are all kinds of parks and green spaces. The roads are lined with trees. The sidewalks have trees up and down them. There's all kinds of stuff to do outdoors in Forest Park. You can go for long walks, take your dog for long walks. You can play in the park. There's probably 3 or 4 different parks all over Forest Park. All kinds of stuff to do in Forest Park in the outdoors. Finally, reason number 3 to pick Forest Park: it is probably the cheapest neighborhood that we're going to talk about today. The median list price in Forest Park is between $260,000 and $300,000 as of the recording right now in December of 2024. That is by far cheaper than either neighborhood of Whitecaps or Strawberry Creek. So if you're looking for a cheaper neighborhood to move into, if you're on a budget, Forest Park is definitely the neighborhood that you want to look into. There are definitely houses that are cheaper than the $260,000 price range, and there are houses that go for above $300,000 in the Forest Park neighborhood. But if you're shopping on a budget for a house, Forest Park is definitely the area that you want to start in, because there are houses that are definitely a lot cheaper, and houses that go for in between that price range, and houses that go for above that price range. Houses tend to be a little bit older in the Forest Park neighborhood. They tend to be built in the 1940s, 1950s, some in the 1930s. Some you can probably find even a little bit older, like early 1900s, maybe even late 1800s. They're not quite as new. They're not quite as updated. You'll probably find some galvanized pipes in there. Some of the really old wiring. They're just older houses, outdated houses, but they're still good. Foundations are still good. They're still standing. They're perfectly fine houses. They're just older houses. That's why they tend to be a little bit cheaper when you go to buy them. Now, some of the cons of Forest Park: limited shopping. Forest Park is kind of on the east side of Kenosha. It's not really downtown, but it's not really close to anything. Now, Kenosha isn't super big. Like it's not going to take you very long to get to anything. But if you don't have a car or you rely on public transportation, it'll take you a little while to get to like the stores or the grocery stores or restaurants or anything like that. Just because it's not super close to stores, it's not super close to restaurants, it's not super convenient to anything. It's not super far away, it's just not super close to anything like that. As I had mentioned before, the houses are older in Forest Park, so a lot of the houses will need some updating. They may need some new roofs. They may need some new paint colors, maybe new wiring, new plumbing. A lot of the houses in the neighborhood may be flips. So an investor may have bought it, done some remodeling to it, made it look brand new. And you never know what they may have overlooked during that flip. Uh, so be careful what you're buying. Make sure you have a home inspection done when you're buying the house, that kind of stuff. The houses are just older. Just be aware of that when you're deciding to buy a house in Forest Park. Have your inspection done. Be advised that they are older. You may be buying a house that has some problems with it. You may have to put some money into it in the first 3 or 5 years. Con number 3 of buying a house in Forest Park is that Forest Park Elementary is really close to you. However, that does mean increased traffic during school hours. So during drop off and pickup, there are a lot of kids around. So you are going to have to take it slow. It's going to be a lot more traffic if you're trying to get somewhere. If you are late for work, if you're in a rush to get somewhere, it's going to be a lot slower. It's going to be slower going for you, and you just got to plan for that during school hours, especially during drop off and pickup times. Next, let's go to neighborhood number 2, Whitecaps. Whitecaps is a highly desirable neighborhood. A lot of people love Whitecaps. Whitecaps is definitely a family-friendly atmosphere. Whitecaps is known for its welcoming community vibe and safe streets. Whitecaps also has a very diverse housing opportunities. They have a lot of single-family homes in there. It's mostly single-family homes. However, you may find a couple duplexes in there and maybe even a couple condos in that subdivision. They're kind of hard to find, but they are in there, scattered in there in a couple different places. In the single-family homes, they range in sizes. They're typically around 1,500 to like 2,500 square feet, but they're different sizes. Most of the houses in there have like a half basement, but you'll find a few in there that have a full basement. So they're all different sizes, depending on what you're looking for. And most of the houses in there are 3-bedroom, 1-bath, maybe 1.5 bath. You'll find a 3-bed, 2-bath every now and then, but for the most part, they're 3-bed, 1-bath. And it's just a very highly desirable neighborhood. It's where a lot of people are looking to move into because it's just very convenient. Very convenient. It's right in the middle of Kenosha. It's close to the interstate. And it's close to everything. All the restaurants, all the stores, all the shops, all the jobs are really close to Whitecaps. If you're a commuter, like I said, it's really close to the interstate. It's literally a minute, 2 minutes to the interstate. You just jump on there, you go to work. As a bonus pro, Whitecaps also has a school in the middle of it. They have Nash Elementary in the middle of Whitecaps. So if you love a community that has a school in the middle of it, Whitecaps may also be for you. They built Whitecaps to feel more like a community around the school. Like literally, the school is directly in the middle of the community, and all the houses are built around the school. You have to kind of see it and drive it to kind of experience. I can't really explain it, but the school is dropped directly in the middle of the community, and then all the houses are kind of built around it. It's kind of like a circle, but the streets aren't really a circle. It's still kind of a grid system. It's really kind of unique and interesting. But if you do like a community that has a school in the middle of it, Forest Park and Whitecaps both have a school in the middle of it. So those are both very good options for you. They're both elementary schools, and both communities have a school right in the middle of the communities. And both are very highly rated elementary schools. Some cons of Whitecaps: smaller yards. So some homes in Whitecaps, they have really small yards. They're just not very big lots because it was a planned community. So they tried to fit as many houses as they possibly could in this community. So the lots are kind of small. They're a third of an acre, maybe even smaller than that. Maybe like a third, maybe an eighth of an acre. So they're pretty small lots. So your yard may be pretty tiny on some of these lots, on some of these houses. So if you're looking for a big yard, a big fenced-in yard for your dog to go play in, or you just want a big yard in general, Whitecaps may not be the place for you. If you're looking for privacy, Whitecaps definitely is not the place for you. These houses are literally on top of each other. Like you can reach out your neighbor, you can reach out your window of your bedroom and probably touch the house that's right next to you. That's how close these houses are to each other. They are literally feet from each other. These houses are really close to each other. So if you want privacy, Whitecaps is not the place for you. These houses are right on top of each other. Con number 3 of Whitecaps is that it's super competitive. So like I said before, people just want to live in Whitecaps. It's super convenient. It's close to the interstate. everybody moving to Kenosha and people that live here in Kenosha. They just want to live in Whitecaps. It's close to everything. It's close to the interstate, so commuters and people just for convenience. They all want to live in Whitecaps, and houses that come for sale, they tend to sell really quickly. Like hours of hitting the market, they tend to sell right away. So if you're looking to live in Whitecaps, let me know. I can set you up on a search, and as soon as I see a house hit the market in Whitecaps, I'll definitely let you know, and we'll get out there as soon as we can to take a look at it and hopefully get your offer in if you really like it. You might not like it, who knows? But if you do, we'll get you a good offer in there and cross our fingers and see what happens. But these houses are moving really fast. Even when the market was down a little bit, these houses were still moving really fast. Finally, neighborhood number 3, Strawberry Creek. Strawberry Creek is like the luxury neighborhood of Kenosha. Strawberry Creek is west of the interstate. It is technically covered by Bristol. However, they have a Kenosha address. So if you're looking for upscale living, Strawberry Creek is for you. Strawberry Creek also has a golf course in the neighborhood. So Strawberry Creek offers modern, upscale homes that feel like a retreat. If you're looking for houses that make you feel like you're living in a luxury home, that may not have quite that luxury price tag just yet, Strawberry Creek is the place for you. Houses in Strawberry Creek, you can still find some houses in Strawberry Creek for under $500,000. However, those prices are starting to go up. Most houses in Strawberry Creek are selling for $500,000 to $700,000 and up. So prices in Strawberry Creek are definitely going up. So like I mentioned just a little bit ago, golf course amenities. So Strawberry Creek has a golf course in the subdivision. If you love to golf and you have an active lifestyle, Strawberry Creek may be for you. If you're part of the community, I believe you have an automatic membership to the golf course. Don't quote me on that because I don't know for sure. But there's a golf course in the community, and there's a clubhouse because it is an HOA because it is in the HOA community. There is a clubhouse and there's a golf course that you have access to, and all kinds of things that come with an HOA community. Safe and quiet. So being west of the interstate, the neighborhood's private, tranquil atmosphere is ideal for raising kids. The neighborhood's almost secluded. Like you're driving past it on Highway 50, you almost don't even realize it's there. So a lot of people just drive right past it. They don't even realize that they're passing by a neighborhood. So unless you know that neighborhood's there, you don't even know that it exists. So if you're looking for a neighborhood that a lot of people don't even know exists, Strawberry Creek is probably the place for you. Now, some cons of Strawberry Creek: a higher cost of living. So upscale living comes with a higher price tag, of course. So if you can't afford it, then obviously Strawberry Creek is out for you. Like I said, most houses in Strawberry Creek are going for $500,000 and up. I would say the average price in Strawberry Creek is probably $600,000. Most houses in Strawberry Creek are selling for at least $700,000. The newest listing that I saw in there was $750,000. The latest closing that I saw in there was over $700,000. So it's pretty hard to find a house in Strawberry Creek for under $500,000. If you're seeing a house in Strawberry Creek for under $500,000, it's probably in pretty rough shape or it's a foreclosure. You can find a house in Strawberry Creek for under $500,000, but it's probably in pretty rough shape, or it may be a foreclosure, or maybe they're just selling at a really deep discount for whatever reason. Who knows? But it's pretty hard to find a house in that neighborhood for under $500,000. Most houses in there are selling for over $600,000, $700,000, just because they are considered luxury homes. Less diverse housing. So Strawberry Creek was a planned development when they built it. So they are very large homes. They tend to be 3,000 square feet and higher. They were built to look almost exactly alike every single house. I think there's 3 or 4 different floor plans. So every house looks almost exactly alike. They are larger, more expensive homes, which limits your options for smaller families and first-time home buyers. So if you're a smaller family like us, who's only 3, we don't need a house that's 3,000 square feet. What would we do with all that space? it would be a lot of cleaning for no reason. But if you're a family of 5 or 6 and you need a bigger house like that and you can afford it, Strawberry Creek may be the perfect option for you. Strawberry Creek is also very popular, and those houses tend to sell really fast. So if you are interested in Strawberry Creek, give me a call, shoot me a text. I'd be happy to set you up on a search or let you know as soon as the house becomes available in that area, because those houses do tend to sell really fast sometimes. Another con of Strawberry Creek are HOA fees. So their amenities are great, like the clubhouse, the golf course, the event space. However, they do come with a monthly HOA fee. I don't know what it is. I would have to look up a house that's in Strawberry Creek, and I don't think there's any active houses right now. I want to say at the last time I looked, it was like $300 a year, which isn't too terribly bad, but it is an added expense that you have to keep in mind when you're buying a house in Strawberry Creek. And when you're living in an HOA community, you have to live by HOA rules. Your house can only be a certain color. You may not be able to have a fence, or if you can't have a fence in your backyard, it has to be a certain type of fence. It can only be certain feet high. You may or may not be able to have a privacy fence. It all depends on the HOA rules. So there you have it. 3 different neighborhoods to choose from here in Kenosha. Of course, there are dozens of other neighborhoods to choose from here in the Kenosha, Pleasant Prairie, Summers, and Racine area. If you're looking for any other choices, give me a call, shoot me a text, or send me an email. Happy to go over your options and help you choose the best neighborhood that's right for you and your family. So whether you're looking for affordability, convenience, or upscale living, Kenosha has it all for you. They have the right neighborhood for you and your family, and I'm happy to help you choose that neighborhood. Whether that neighborhood is Forest Park, Whitecaps, or Strawberry Creek, I don't know. Let's talk it over and let's choose the right neighborhood for you. Maybe it's none of those neighborhoods. Maybe it's one of those neighborhoods. Let's talk it over. Let's make a plan, and let's execute that plan. So if you're thinking about moving here to Kenosha, make sure you reach out to me. Give me a call or shoot me a text. My phone number is 262-331-1621. My email is down here in the description. I'd be happy to help you out. I have buyers and sellers reaching out to me every single week, just like you, asking me for help to buy and sell here in the Kenosha area. So if you need help to buy or sell here in the Kenosha Racing area, make sure you reach out to me. Aalia and I would love to help you buy or sell here in the area. I hope they have a fantastic rest of your day, and let's get to this dad joke here. So what do you get when you cross a snowman with a vampire? You get frostbite. It's a good one, right? Pretty funny. At least I think so. So I hope they have a fantastic rest of your day, and I can't wait to see you in the next video.